Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Lorian, I'm a mum of 5 and I really enjoy making my children's cakes for their birthday. So this was for my son Rue, who was going to be 4, and he loves the Gruffalo, so I thought I'd make him a little brown mouse cake. And it was actually really difficult because usually if I make their cakes I follow like a tutorial on YouTube or just online. I look at other people's cakes and things and it just helps me to make it, but I couldn't find any for the little brown mouse. There were a couple but none sort of how I wanted him to look. So I just looked at a picture of him and went from that, and I actually found it really tricky. So if you need any advice or anything, then do leave me a message and I'll try and help you out as much as I can. But he really loved it, and that's just like the best thing with making their cakes, is just how much they love them when they see them. It makes it so worth it. You wouldn't think like a cake could mean so much to someone, especially a child. But I'll list below all the colours I use and tools and everything, so that you just know everything you'll need for the little brown mouse. So I started with his body, which was brown, and I just shaped it round to the sort of shape that he looked in the picture. Used my tool to make 2 eye indentations, and then got some white sugar paste for his belly. He has like a white part on his tummy. I then cut a little pink triangle out for his nose and started with his arms, which were a little bit tricky because you have to sort of like shape the fingers. Just roll out the brown sugar paste and just use your like knife tool to cut some little fingers and toes. And then roll some white pieces of sugar paste for his eyes, and then some little black pieces to finish his eyes. And now I'm just gonna do his feet, and I was using a bit of brown sugar paste just to prop him up and make sure he's sitting upright as I wanted him. I think I definitely concentrated on the left hand side of him more than the right hand side, because I just knew that was the bit that's going to be showing, and it was really tricky to get him perfect. So I thought as long as one side is perfect, then it's all perfect. So just put his feet on and cut them until you think that it's like looks like a good size on him. And then I cut them again when they were on him, cut his toes again, and used my brown piece of sugar paste to hold them up because I wanted them bent upright. So I left that there until they're dried and held that way. And now I'm going to make his tail, which is some pale pink sugar paste. Nice and easy, just roll it out. I don't think I actually attached it to him. I moved it onto the cake separately to him. Just get it as you want and then you can move it separately to him. My nails were really annoying, and they were at a point where they were just too long anyway and sort of like coming off at the edges. So I did actually get them off that night. So the next day it was so much easier to make the cake without the nails. You'll see they disappear. Okay, so next I needed to shape his ears, which was brown sugar paste again. I used like little pieces of a cocktail stick to hold in the ear and also put into his head so that it would hold in, and then used my ball tool to shape the ears nice and round, and just kept going until I sort of got the shape that I was looking for. They need to be quite big. Yeah, I actually left them to dry before I put them on him, and so like the next morning I put them on him once they were hard, because I thought otherwise they're just going to sort of like sag once they're on him and not hold properly. So once they were nice and hard and set, then I put them on him. You will want some of your baby pink for inside the ears, and you just need to pop it in. Use your little ball tool to push it around and shape it, and your knife to cut it about just to get it all to the right size. And then he's holding a little nut, and Rue does always say the little expression that the mouse ate the nut and the nut was good, so I had to include the nut. So I used some brown food colouring. It's like a paste, and I mixed that into some of my brown sugar paste. And then I just moulded it around until it was like a good colour and a good shape for the nut. And then I used some of my brown sugar paste for the just top. It's like a conker, isn't it? So I used that for the top of it and then got it on, cut it to size and messed around with it until I got it to the shape I would like it. Okay, so it was the next day. The ears were nice and hard, and so was the little mouse, as you can see. And I just popped the ears in. My favourite ear on the left, not so favourite on the right. And then I got on with just extra decorations for the cake. So I wanted to use a bright green, and I used that with some white sugar paste and some bright green food colouring. And then I had bought some letters and a number so I could do Rue's name. I'm not sure I actually used his name on the cake. I don't think I did, actually, looking at that, because the cake wasn't big enough just to put his name on it as well, which just would have swamped it, but I did like it. It looked really nice. I did use the number 4 though. I used that instead of a candle. And then I'm going to make some little decorations from top. So I'm going to make some toadstools and some little rocks, and then I'm going to pipe grass. As you see, my nails have changed. They've come off and I painted them. I did my little gel kit. Did some nice pink and glittery nails. But anyway, so you want some white sugar paste, some red sugar paste for your toadstools, and then the white you just roll it into a long roll and then cut just little stems for the bottom of the toadstool. And then the red is quite easy. You just sort of shape it round into a rough triangle, and they don't need to be perfect. You actually don't want them all to be the same. You want them all to be a little bit different. So as they come is perfect. And then pop the red on top of the white, and I use my ball tool to make a little indentation so it sits in it, and then pop a little glue into and pop them in like that. And then I used some white sugar paste for the little spots on the toadstool and just made loads of those. It was quite time consuming, but just super easy. So the sort of idea for the cake I did get online. I will link it. There was just this picture of a cake that I just sort of thought I'm just going to sort of go for that, and I like to have a style that I'm going to copy, so I just know what I'm sort of aiming for, so it's not just like a rough cake. So I made some little stones just with some grey sugar paste, different sizes, different shapes, just rough and random. It really doesn't matter, which makes it nice and easy for when you decorate it, because it doesn't have to be so uniform. And I also bought some flowers and leaf sugar paste pieces just to go on the cake as well for some decoration. Curtis is absolutely incredible at icing cakes. I always did it myself, but he's just better at it than me, so he just does it now. He's just so good. He says it's to do with his job. I've probably said this before in a previous cake video, but he's a joiner, and yeah, he does lots of like filling and things like that, and he said that it's just sort of to do with his job, but he's amazing. So he did like a crumb coating for the base, which you do want to do. It holds the crumbs in and stops them getting into your main layer, and then you pop it in the fridge until it goes hard, and then you can put your main layer on. And he is incredible at it, as you will see. He gets an amazingly smooth cake. I did some drip icing on this before. I've purchased one from Tesco, but this time I bought one from a cake supplier, and it was quite expensive. I think it was $10.95 for the bottle. You can see it in the background there. I would definitely buy it again. It is amazing, and apparently once it's opened you can still use it. I think it's like up to a year. I'll have to double check. I've got it in the cupboard because I'm going to use it for either Curtis or Lilac's cake in July. It was really nice and easy. It's like solid chocolate, a whole tube of it, and you melt it in the microwave and pour it on your cake. And I was really scared to do it because it's sort of thing like you can really mess your cake up, but it just came out so nicely and smoothly and it was perfect. I've previously purchased one in Tesco for £2.50. It's already runny. It doesn't look very nice. It looks like the sort of icings you can get from Tesco, like, do you know, like for the ice cream? Yeah, it just looks like that. It doesn't look like proper chocolate, but this was like solid chocolate and it was lovely. So now I have my incredibly smooth cake. I'm just going to pipe all around before I do the drip. Yeah, just sort of make it easier. Curtis wanted to have a go. I was enjoying it, and he said it looked like fun, so he wanted to have a go too. And just get a grass pipe in nozzle and just pipe it around the edge. It was nice and easy. I also did lots on top. You can cover any imperfections with it too. And this is my drip. So you just squeeze it on and hold it for longer if you want a longer drip, or smaller if you want a smaller drip. I got a little bit more brave with it as I went round. You see my first drips are quite small. They started to get longer. I was worried that I was going to do it too long and it touched the bottom, but it didn't. It's perfect. It looked amazing. I was so pleased with it. It just came out exactly as I wanted it. It looked just like the picture as well. And then I cut the little mouse's mouth and popped him on top of the cake. Now I could start decorating. My cake was not super smooth on top, so I made a mistake. I was going to fill all the chocolate in the middle, and Curtis said wait until the outside is dry and then fill in the middle, but it didn't work because it already started drying. It was hard and bumpy, and it means I didn't get a smooth finish on top because I didn't get to smooth it all on together. So that was definitely a mistake. But you couldn't really notice it. I just covered it up with all my grass, rocks and toadstools. So now it's just the fun part really, where you just get to decorate your cake and put everything in place and just make it look pretty. And I love this bit because it just all comes together so nicely. So when it came to putting my number 4 in, the chocolate's really solid on top. I used a stick to push through so that you can get it in, otherwise you probably won't get it in. Perhaps you should put it in before the chocolate sets. And that is Rue's birthday cake, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. I hope if you make the cake, then you do find my tutorial useful and it helps you to make it, because they can be really hard to do, and finding a tutorial that is helpful is always really good. So I really hope you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having an amazing week, and hopefully I will see you on my next video.